What's up, guys? Today I'm going to be going over how to actually set up OBS Studio. That way you are able to stream to sites like YouTube or Twitch or Mixer, whatever you want. The first thing you're going to want to know is how fast your internet actually is. You have your upload, you have your download. You don't care about the download when it comes to this, you care about your upload. Your upload will almost always be lower than your download unless you told your internet provider you want a bit of a faster upload speed, and you'll probably end up paying a bit more out of it too. So once you've figured out what your upload speed is, if you have roughly 5 to 6 like I do, you can definitely stream from it. You're able to do 1080p 30 FPS pretty well. You can definitely do 720p 60 FPS with no issues. I've been able to do it for years. So once you've figured out your upload, you know it's going to be good enough, we can actually move over to this. So get ready for all 3,000 of me by doing this, and we will open up settings to hopefully, there we go. So first things first, we're going to click stream. Right here is where you actually can type in a stream key, or you can link an account with like Twitch or YouTube or whatever it is. Now, I already have mine connected just because it's easier to connect through an account instead of typing in a stream key all the time. Plus, you get some nifty things like being able to change stream titles and the chat and stuff just within OBS Studio now due to an update. So once you've went through, you've either typed in a stream key or you've connected your account, you will be selecting the server that you want. Now, you can do auto if you want. I live in Houston, so obviously I'm going to select Houston. There have been certain times where I've had trouble streaming. I'm trying to figure out what the heck the issue was, and it ended up actually being a server that I was streaming to. So every once in a while, if you're having issues, feel free to change it from wherever you originally have it to something else, because sometimes it will fix your issue. Now, next, we're going to be talking about the output. This is where all the stress gets put onto your CPU, which is why you need a bit more of a stronger computer than usual to be able to even stream games if you're trying to stream a game on the same PC while playing it. So first, you're going to notice the encoder. There are multiple ways to do encoding. The X264 is generally known, it's called like software encoding, and it uses your CPU the majority of the time. There is also the NVIDIA encoder, which it ends up using your video card to do a lot of the encoding. So if you actually plan on streaming from your computer and you have an NVIDIA video card, feel free to try streaming from that, because it can actually improve the quality of your stream a bit, and it can also make it to where you're not lagging like crazy in-game. Now, there's also a couple of other ways. You have the Intel Quicksync, which you end up streaming from an extra part of your Intel CPU to do it. And there's also one from AMD. I'm not going to go over those because they're basically the same thing. You just set the bit rate. There's still like the preset and everything like that. You can tweak around with that. You can mess around with that. You can tweak it, and you can come up with the best thing. So you'll want to keep the rate control at CBR, constant bitrate. You don't really want it to be fluctuating too much. You are able to do variable bitrate where it tries to think, oh, well, this is where it should be and this is where it shouldn't. It's just not, it's not very optimized at the moment. So you may as well keep it at the constant bitrate. Now, depending on your upload speed, that's going to tell you what you want your bitrate to be. Depending on the resolution that you're actually going to be streaming to Twitch, you're going to want either a higher bit rate or a lower bit rate. So if you're streaming 1080p to Twitch, you're going to want a bit higher of a bit rate than if you were actually trying to stream 720p to Twitch. If you actually give too much bit rate, you're going to notice a lot of frame drops. And even if you don't notice frame drops, it can almost like oversaturate it, and you're just using up a lot more of your CPU's power than you even need to have. So make sure you find the happy medium for the bit rate. Remember, the higher the resolution, probably the higher the bit rate you're going to have. So the CPU usage preset right here, technically the lower the better, but you're also going to have to remember the better, the more CPU you're actually going to be using, the more stress that's going to be put on this. So just sort of tweak everything. You're going to have to turn on the stream, turn it off, make sure things aren't dropping when it comes to frames. Now, I have stats right here. you go to view stats, that'll show it, or you can also go to docs stats, and it'll put it right here. So it's nice. It tells you if you're dropping any frames. It'll tell you actually how much of your network that you've used, which at the moment I'm not streaming, so it's not going to say much. Tell you if your bit rate's fluctuating or anything like that. So now let's go back to settings. Audio right here. Just select whatever audio device you're wanting to use. You will also want to select your microphone. Pretty simple, pretty easy. Now right here, they're actually talking about the base canvas. This would be like the resolution of your monitor. Now there's also the ability to scale it. Now if you scale it, it's actually going to put a little bit less stress on your computer, and it's also going to put a little bit less stress on your internet. So if you don't have that great internet and you already don't have that great of a computer, feel free to scale it down. You can even go beneath 720p if you're still having issues. Now, just remember, if you're trying to do a new game beneath 720p, not that many people may want to watch, but if you're trying to do, like, maybe Super Mario World or something, everyone's used to watching that in 480p anyway, so feel free. Now, the downscale filter, it's also just depends on the quality and stuff like that. So, obviously, the higher the better, but a little bit more stress that gets put on your computer, and that is the same with the FPS. So if you have a 60 FPS camera, well, obviously you're going to want to try and keep that at 60 FPS. But this is going to be something that you're going to have to, once again, you're going to have to tweak a little bit to try and figure out what you can do with 60 FPS. Because you may be able to do 720p 60 FPS, but you may not be able to do 1080p at 60 FPS due to either your internet speed or your computer or just both. So that's about all that I got for you guys today. If you have any questions at all, feel free to leave a message in the little comment thing down at the bottom.